everybody was getting let in. Like the angry dude who's pissed at everything, the drunk guy who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, problem isn't the problems in the world, it's how it's being piped into your brain every single day. So in other words, I don't have to choose between fun and focus. It's basically a switch that I can just switch on and off at any time. So I want to ask you a question today. Do you think that this is the best time to be alive right now or the worst time? Because there's a lot of back and forth going on about this. And a lot of people don't take a minute to realize that we are walking around with more opportunity than any human has ever had in the entire existence of humanity. For those that don't know me, I'm Steve, and I worked as a disaster relief specialist helping people rebuild their lives while depression was slowly tearing mine apart. So I had to spend the better part of 2 decades learning about how my mind worked so I could rewire my brain and rebuild my life to be the best father that I could be to my son. Now I share everything that I learned so you don't have to struggle through it the way that I did, because there's somebody in your life that probably deserves the best version of you. So just by looking at the facts alone, like from now till back in the 1900s, global poverty is down from like 90% to 10%. Life expectancy has doubled as a human. I think it was like 32 years old back in the 1900s. Now it's up to 78 or whatever it's at now. You can learn any skill. You can reach anybody you want. You can build a whole business from your couch. It sounds pretty darn good to me. But at the same time, you're also looking at the mental health crisis and the wars going on and just everybody at each other's throat. And it just looks absolutely bleak no matter where you look. So why do so many people think that the world is falling apart when the numbers would say otherwise? What is the cause of that? Well, for one, in the brain there's a bias called the negativity bias, which simply means it's the natural tendency to pay more attention to react stronger, and to dwell longer on bad experiences than good experiences. Or in other words, it's wired to put more weight on bad than good. And this is because it was an evolutionary survival mechanism that we always needed, because if we needed to weigh the costs of mistakes back in the day, because certain mistakes, like for example running past a predator, could be fatal. But nowadays, when we don't have this sort of issue of predators attacking us, we are still looking for that same sort of negativity and bad around us to safeguard our systems. And a lot of the social medias and the algorithms and everything, they know this bias very well, and just like the news, they prey on it because they know that what bleeds leads. So the problem isn't the problems in the world, it's how it's being piped into your brain every single day. So how do we exactly get around this? Well, if you're not guarding the gates of your mind, like, you're letting in everything that potentially wants to cross that barrier. That means the fear, the outrage, the doom and gloom, it's all coming in, because that is what's going to cause you to click. And the result from all that is low-grade dread, anxiety, lack of confidence, feeling stuck in your life, because all that we see is no path forward. We don't see how tomorrow is going to be brighter because of all the doom and gloom that's going on and getting shoved in our faces. So what actually happens when you just let anything and everything into your mind? Well, I know for me, like when I was doing this, I would wake up, I'd grab my coffee, and I'd start jumping on the phone and starting scrolling. You would just see all these news headlines and all these people talking and all these divisive topics of people just trying to get your eyeballs on their sort of content. And I was just eating it up just like anybody else. And seeing this sort of stuff really put me in a state of being where I would just had so much, like, such a bleak outlook on life. My mind was like a bar without a bouncer. Just everybody was getting let in. Like the angry dude who's pissed at everything, the drunk guy who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, like every sort of chatty Cathy that would come into this bar and just be a loud mess of noise going on in my head all the time. Because it's true, like what you have input is what comes out. It's garbage in, garbage out. And when you have these people and these voices and these opinions shaping your life and shaping your world around you, it's very hard to see any way through. So how do we fix that? Well, that's what I want to get into. Okay, so this is the system that really worked for me. And I use this mainly on YouTube, but it can trickle into every single other area of your life. I'm the type of person that likes my cake and eat it too. So when I'm in a cut, when I'm losing weight, for example, I still want to have pizza and hamburgers and ice cream and stuff. Obviously, there's a way to do that. Have your cake and eat it too and still get the result. but I needed that sort of thing in my online world. So for me, what I would have is I would have one account that's all about learning skills. So if I want to learn guitar tabs, home renovation, content creation, anything that I'm trying to get better at, that goes under the learning account. If I'm trying to focus on fitness, I have like workouts, nutrition, health content, stuff like that. That all goes under the fitness account. I have the mindset account, which is like Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozy, like all this stuff that keeps me motivated and keeps my head in the game. That's stuff that I would use throughout the week. And then the final one is for entertainment. So like Mr. Ballin, funny videos, monkey magic tricks, like all that sort of stuff I would have curated to the entertainment. And then what would happen is I would make these things so dialed in that when I'm in a certain mode, whatever that mode may be, I would switch to this account, and then I'd only see stuff in that account. So in other words, I don't have to choose between fun and focus. It's basically a switch that I can just switch on and off at any time. Okay, so how do you actually set this up? So first, find out what you want your themes to be about. If you want to do what I was doing, you set one up for skills, for all the stuff you're trying to learn, set one up for entertainment. You can set one up for, you can even set one up for news. And like me personally, I try to curate like all unessential news out of my feeds because I can find it elsewhere. But you can even set one up and have specifically curated news avenues to actually bring you this information. So it's not always like, we know the main culprits are the people who just dish garbage to everybody. You can stay away from those guys and still get the other good stuff that you need. For making the accounts, you would click your profile picture in the top corner, and then you would from there select your settings, and then under settings you go to the your channel section and add and manage your channels, and you can have up to like 100 channels this way. And then from there, all you have to really do is spend one evening and go through your current subscriptions that you have going on and just put them in the right place that they're supposed to go. And then from there, if you are in a specific one, you just have to you can do one of two things. Obviously, one, if it isn't supposed to be in there, you just click the three dots and you go either not interested in this content or don't recommend this channel at all. Or if it's something that you do want to watch, but it's part of another thing, what you can do is you go, oh, so you switch over to your other account, click to save watch later, and then go back to what you were doing so that later when you have more time to do entertainment or something, you can click it back over, watch the videos in there. But essentially within a week's time of you going back and forth and doing this, it will become a well-oiled machine and you won't have to do much maintenance to it at all. It's just the initial setup, which usually takes an evening, and then just making sure that everything is going to where it's supposed to be, and anything that pops up that shouldn't be there is kind of tossed off to the side. And the algorithm is really good for finding out real quick what you're interested in and what to stay away from. But the main thing is that I would not have all the doom and gloom getting shoved in my face every single day, because I would have a lot of conversation where people are like, did you see what just happened? I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't know. They're like, don't you watch the news? I'm like, I don't watch the news. I'm like, well, how do you stay up to date with anything that's going on in the world? And I'm like, I will tell you this. If there is something big that happens in the world, you will hear about it. Some way, somehow, it will make its way to you. But all the little tiny things here and there, they get pushed to the side, and you can make the actual choice of, like, for example, if it's time to start voting in a new leader, prime minister for me, president for other people, you can take the time to be like, okay, now is the time where I'm going to take a couple weeks, just do some actual research to see what everybody offers and see what is the best laid plans for me going forward. But I don't have to be there for the mudslinging competition that happens for fucking 6 months prior to the election. Like, I don't need to be a part of that and the back and forth and stuff like that. Just let me have my time where I choose to come in, get the information that I need, make the decisions that are actually well informed, and then not have to worry about dealing with all the other nonsense all the other times of the year. Because it's really only about one thing: deciding what gets past the gates. And that's, you are the one who's deciding, instead of just letting everything just come to you by happenstance. And the biggest thing about all this is living your life in terms of seasons. And I always say this to people, whenever anybody tries to make a big change in their life, they're always saying, I can't fucking do this. And I'm like, why not? It's like, well, what happens if this happens? Or I have this going on, or all this stuff. And I'm like, can you do it for a month? Can you do it for a week? Like, if you can do this for short periods of time, you will find that even small amounts of effort will really compound into something. And if it's one of those things where you find that your attention is really getting stolen when you're on YouTube or something, cut all that shit out. Make an account that's purely about motivation and keeping your head in the game and everything, and just have it set on that. And just see nothing but this feed and curate it for a month's time. And you will notice how you will have this huge shift in how you feel and how you perceive everything, how you treat and interact with people. Everything will change. And then people think that, oh, I have to do this for the rest of my life. No, you don't have to do it for the rest of your life. Do it in seasons. Like, there's some times when I have to put nose to the grindstone. And then there's some times, like now that we're in summertime and all the kids are off school, I want to spend more time with my family. That's just how it works. And it's just going to be this back and forth, jumping from season to season, just to find out what works at this any given time. And that's what's going to happen with the YouTube algorithms, is you're going to find that there's going to be a time when you just want to kick back and see nothing but garbage. Good on you, that's fine. But when it's bleeding over into your everyday life, that's when it's a problem. That's when you stop having the choice of what's coming to you, and you're just reacting to everything that's around you. Walking around like an exposed nerve. And I was like that for over a decade, and it fucking sucks. It's not good. So I would actually throw back the question, do you think this is the best time or the worst time to be alive? Because there's a great argument for both sides, but I think that with everything that we're seeing with the technology and with the medical advancements and with everything that's going on, man, we have so much opportunity in front of us. So I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments, and we can just kind of go from there, because the answer depends on what you're conditioning your mind to see. If you have any recommendations for what you want to see in these videos, definitely let me know in the comments. If you want to look for something to watch next, there's a video about to pop up here on the right that YouTube thinks that you'll like to watch. So I guarantee give that a watch next and you'll enjoy it. And until next time, keep moving forward.